Welcome back to the White Noise Podcast. I'm Ethan, joined by Gizmo Gummy Bear.
What's up?
And as always, Jacob behind the glass, except for the few times that he wasn't here.
Always.
Look at us. It's just us three here today. It feels like it's been a while since it's been, three of us going at it.
Not that long. Oh, the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Things have been pretty crazy work-wise, and I'm sure school-wise for you, Gavin.
Yep. Sun's one. It's pretty crazy.
Yep, we'll get into that later.
Recover.
Yep, Sun's one. Yes.
Yep, road rage. God.
Yep, road rage. Yep, Gavin versus Wild. Yeah, it's been crazy, but it's
We're here now.
we're here now. When we
That's
got
all
in,
that matters.
when we were setting up, Gavin's like, "Is Paul coming?" And I was like, "No." Like, oh, I just sort of expected it at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
Shout out, Paul.
shout out, Paul.
What a guy. I mean, it's not like he has any other podcast to do.
That's true. That's true.
And then there's no other one.
That's true.
It doesn't exist.
Nope.
That's true. Wait. I feel like this is alluding to something.
The White Noise Expanded Universe.
Nah.
Instead of the White Noise Podcast. The old fashioned.
Guys, old fashioned's going to happen, and there was some new development today to where it's definitely going to happen.
Yep. You've said this for how long now?
All right, but this time's different.
You've said that how many times now?
You want to know what's in the fridge? I lied. There is no fridge.
There is no fridge.
There's no old fashioned.
No, there's an old fashioned.
Shut up. You guys just did a TikTok. You dressed up, had a set just for the TikTok. You're just teasing
We're just
everybody.
gaslighting
There's
everyone at this
nothing.
point.
There is no podcast.
You know what? You're right. There is no podcast.
You heard it here first, folks.
Old fashioned doesn't exist. We were gaslighting it the entire time. Neither does Bob Ross. That doesn't exist either.
I'm pretty sure he existed at one point.
I think that's just what the government wants to think. But, Jacob, let's go to Pound Town. And we're back. Right, Gavin?
Let's go. No, I, again, never left.
Oh,
I'm back.
He said, let's go, and I recently found a video on my camera roll of the Darth Vader going, let's go.
I sent that to you.
It's a great video.
Very epic. I use it all the time.
Anyways, got some stuff to talk about. Our weekly pop culture comic book update.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess.
All right. So we're going to be talking about Marvel again.
Naturally.
Or Disney.
Just really briefly.
Or both.
Just really briefly. There's two Marvel trailers that were released. One of them being Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the third Ant-Man movie.
Let's go.
I've literally never even heard anything about it. Has it been a thing, like, scheduled? Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
It's introducing, or I think he was in the Loki TV show, but the villain is Kang, the Conqueror, which you know from Contest Champions, Jacob.
Let's go.
Yes, I do know that.
But he's the next, like, Thanos.
Okay.
So this will be like the movie that he's introduced in, and then that'll lead into the big next thing. But at this point, it's just,
Just kind of tired of it.
Yeah.
It's got, like, Marvel fatigue.
that's what it is. And then the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special, was released. They're doing a holiday special.
How long is this holiday special that it needed a trailer for it?
Well, I think it's like a little mini series. I think there's episodes.
Don't you dare say those fucking words.
Are we supposed to get a Groot show?
No, I think it's just the holiday special.
Was it the holiday? I could have sworn there was a Groot TV show coming out.
I can't even keep track of all these
Never
anymore.
mind. It's just a special. It's 40 minutes long. It's not
Okay.
it's not an episode. But it premieres November 25th, and I think it's about right here it says Star-Lord, Drax, Rocket, Mantis, and Groot engage in some spirited shenanigans. But from what I understand, it's basically Mantis and Drax and I guess the other Guardians trying to give Star-Lord the, like, Christmas on Earth he remembered.
Aw.
So it's like the Texas
trying to-
episode from SpongeBob.
Trying to get him a good gift,
Could
I
they
guess.
just go back to Earth?
They're on Earth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
According to the trailer. I didn't watch the full trailer.
I didn't know there was a trailer. Have you ever seen the Star Wars Christmas special?
No.
The Lego Star Wars?
No, the actual Star Wars holiday special or Christmas special, whichever one it was.
It's animated, right?
No. It has all the, most of, if not all of the original actors, too.
Oh.
It was so horrible.
Don't recall.
That's because George Lucas made it to where you can't really see it anywhere. It's on YouTube, though.
There already is an I Am Groot show.
Yeah, I was going to say, I swear.
It had 5 episodes. It released August 10th. This past August.
Wait, this shit's been out?
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't know.
We just missed that? How did we miss Groot?
Literally never heard of it.
No, I remember hearing it, but I thought I heard about it a month ago.
Yeah, it came out in August, apparently, according to Google. And
missed it.
There's 3 people in the cast, so I have no idea what it is.
What timeline are we on?
We're sure?
So this is.
We need the Marvel lore keeper in here, please. When did this come out?
What the heck? I didn't even know this was. It's 5. It's short 5 episodes. So I think they're just Tales of Bossing Say, but with Groot.
Huh. Interesting.
Tales of Bossing Say with Groot.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think that's what it is. That's interesting.
Weird.
Okay. I didn't even know it was out. I didn't know it existed.
Speaking of shorts, Tales of the Jedi is out.
Yep. So Tales of the
go.
Jedi. Have you watched it?
I haven't.
Okay.
Well,
How's Andor?
I haven't proceeded. I started watching it with Lucy, so
Oh, yeah. That'll slow you down.
we like to sleep. So
I know you guys always fall asleep.
It's pretty nice.
I put a pause on Andor. We
Okay.
will continue watching at our own pace.
All right.
I'll give you my full review when the series is over.
Yeah, it'll be 4 weeks after it's
Well,
over.
if I have to power through and watch all of them without her, I will.
I respect that. Okay.
Would you rather fight 10 to 100-year-olds?
Okay, we'll get into that in the
110-year-olds?
static. Shut
No, that
up.
was something that popped into my head just
Okay,
now.
we'll get into it in the
Okay.
static. Write it down, Jacob.
like,
You're just
huh.
bringing that up right now.
10 100-year-olds or
Okay,
110-year-olds.
we will talk about it. That's a good one, though.
Personally, I don't think I could ever...
That's an easy question.
10 100 years old. 10
Yeah.
100 years old. Easily.
I
easy
think,
as
I think
fight.
either way,
Either way, you think you can take 100? Okay, we'll get into this later. God,
Stupid.
you're so dumb. I hate you.
can't see myself getting brought down by 10-year-olds.
But okay, shut up. Switching over from Marvel to DC, there was a huge announcement with DC revolving around their management, basically.
Yep.
That's the before I poop.
Before I poop. What was that?
All right. So Peter Safran and James Gunn have been tapped to lead DC's film, TV, and animation efforts as co-chairs and co-CEOs of DC Studios.
James Gunn.
Has
So-
James Gunn done anything in DC?
Yeah, he
What?
did the Suicide Squad, the new one.
He did?
Peacemaker, which is John Cena's character.
So he's already been involved.
Yeah.
John Cena.
So they're turning DC films into DC Studios. They're basically starting the Marvel thing, right?
Yeah, just 5 years too late.
Yeah, that's what it feels
Just
like
a
now.
little.
So they're doing DC Studios.
Better late than never.
Peter Safran is doing the business side. James Gunn's doing the creative side.
Right.
People, they got Suicide Squad. They also got Peacemaker. They're like, oh, this is a good thing. It's looking on the ups. They have their Kevin Feige, as you will. What do you think about that, Gavin? I'll tell you what I think.
Okay.
James Gunn.
I think it's all right.
Overrated as fuck.
I mean, it's all right. Overrated as fuck, though. But
I don't know. We'll see what happens with him in this position, because him as the filmmaker, the director, he does some wacky stuff. I feel like some of what DC's known for is their grittiness, their serious tones. So is he going to turn the whole thing into the Star Wars sequels, where it's just all jokes left and right?
That works out.
it worked out a few times.
Are you gonna
What?
have
Am I going to have what?
one-liners in the BVS 2 movie?
They're doing a second one?
That's a joke.
Oh, okay. Didn't they have one-liners in the first one?
Tasteful one-liners.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Batfleck.
But yeah,
Never
that's.
watched it.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with DC. I feel like they've been trying to restructure 6 different times. Okay, let's make this change, and now we have this planned out. And it's okay. And then Marvel has everything planned out for the next 10 years.
Marvel's going to be on phase 20, and DCU finally be like, hey, yo, we got the start going. We got it. Superman comes out tomorrow. And then the next day, we need a new Superman.
Yep, but that's the state of the comic book movie universe.
I feel like they just get screwed on their actors. It's like Henry Cavill was like, wasn't he doing something else when they shot Justice League?
He was doing Fallout, Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah.
Oh, when he had the nice mustache.
When he had the mustache and it was
couldn't
in his
shave
contract, so he couldn't shave it for the reshoots. That's why.
And then the Ezra Miller's
thing.
Literally,
Henry
like-
Cavill not being able to do anything outside of Netflix because of his Witcher contract. That's why they couldn't do more stuff with him as Superman, because Netflix owned his face for those few years.
And then Ben Affleck didn't want to be Batman anymore.
And then he did want to be Batman. And
So
then
it's
it's
like,
just like,
ugh.
They just
Like,
got
what's that
shafted,
meme?
Yeah.
and they're not making good movies.
What's that mean where it's Ben Affleck like smoking and it's just like that's the CEO of Warner Brothers or some shit. Just going, God.
that's what it is. That's that right there. But that's Marvel and DC, you know, as usual.
That's funny.
Let's get
just
into
like me,
let's get into sports. Let's get into something a little different,
Ba-da-dum-da-da-dum.
I guess. So sports wise, let's have an NFL update. Let's go to Jacob with the NFL update.
Oh, NFL is kind of poo poo this year.
It's every team is mediocre. There's two
Kinda bad.
good teams, and I think it's the Bills and the Chiefs. Everyone else is mid,
Ooh. Well,
Either
no, I think it's
that
actually
or
good.
unproven.
unproven.
Like the Vikings are 5-1, but who really believes in them? Eagles are
fans.
6-0. They're the only undefeated team, but it's like, is it going to last? Who knows? It's
It
really
better
the
not.
Bills and Chiefs are the tops, and then everybody else. Packers are sucking. Bucks and Tom Brady are sucking. Every division is like
the thing about
3 wins.
Yeah. The thing about the Bucks sucking is that division sucks so bad that they can still win their division.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the NFC West with the Cardinals. Seahawks lead the NFC West.
That's wild.
Did the the Giants do that a few years back where they went to the playoffs, but they had a losing season, but everybody else in their division had an even worse losing season?
It was
I
the
believe it.
Commanders that went.
Was it the Commanders? I swear it was the
They
Giants.
lost it was the year the Bucks won the Super Bowl. They lost to the Bucks the first round in the wild card. Or not, I don't think it was a wild card, but
I just remember it was either the Commanders or the Giants. Like, they had a losing record, but because everybody else in their division was that much worse, they win as a division leader. It was funny.
That's what's going to happen with a lot of teams in the NFC this year.
But like I said, like I told you, like was it yesterday or a few days ago, any season the Patriots are at the bottom
That was last
is
night,
a winning
yeah.
season.
bro,
It is the best season.
wild.
And the Steelers.
The Mac Jones getting benched.
Bill Belichick's comment after that game. They're like, who's the starting quarterback? Game just ended. That was his response. Game just ended.
When is he going to retire? Who knows? I don't know how he's going to go out.
He's going to have a fucking heart attack by the end of this season. This will be his last season.
Yeah, so, I mean, Tom Brady, suck. Aaron Rodgers, suck. Russell Wilson, suck.
Russell Wilson.
All these really
awful.
elite quarterbacks, like, just less than 2 years ago, are, like, horrible for whatever
Aaron
reason.
Rodgers was back-to-back MVP, and now he's
Now he's about to get spanked by the Bills.
every Packer going into that game is like, damn, it's in Buffalo. Buffalo's coming off a bye week.
Shout out to Paul.
Shout out Paul. Sunday Night Football. Oh my gosh.
Yikes.
But you know, that's football. That's football for you, baby.
The Ravens won.
It's not over till it's over.
Yeah, really, it isn't. It isn't. I heard this today, and I didn't even think about it. The 49ers, going into Week 9, were 3-5
Last season.
last season. And then they ended up being in the NFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl. So
I don't know.
anything could happen, but
I feel like the playoffs last year just were a fluke. I feel like aside from like the Chiefs and the Bills, I don't think. Well, I guess maybe the Bucks. There was too many teams for me to be like, okay, they shouldn't have gone to the playoffs. The Bengals,
It's gonna be the same thing
the
this
Niners,
season.
the Rams.
Niners have a good squad. But
Like
It's their quarterback.
the Cowboys.
the Rams literally won the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
I feel like everybody in the NFC, aside from like the Bucks and the Packers, shouldn't have been in the playoffs. Maybe.
Well,
Not even the
entire
Rams?
NFC is
No,
mediocre.
the Rams fucking.
Especially this year, the entire NFC is mediocre. Even though, like, Giants, Eagles, they're all at the top.
All the Giants' wins have been
But they're nothing, like,
One-score wins.
crazy. Yeah.
under 8 points every game.
Like the Chiefs putting up 44 points on Cardinals and 49ers.
Oof.
Like that's
the
that's
49
formidable.
And the 49ers had like the number one defense going into that game.
Not the Giants squeaking by like with 1-score wins.
It must be awesome.
Win's a win. You don't apologize for it.
I know
but
Patrick Mahomes is sleeping just fine without Tyreek Hill.
Dude, and he's getting paid so much, and isn't it a thing now where nobody really like blitzes him anymore? Because why would you?
I think that's been a thing, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like he doesn't have to get hit. He's going to be the most healthy. He's going to make it to at least 60 years old with his full functioning brain. And then on top of that, isn't he like among top 3 like highest paid members of the NFL right now?
I don't know.
Because it was him, and then I think it was
Kirk Cousins.
Who's the quarterback for the Cowboys?
Dak Prescott.
Small brain moment.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah, Prescott was also up there for some reason.
Cooper Rush.
You know, no team has lost to Kirk Cousins and went to the Super Bowl in the same season. And the Cardinals play Kirk Cousins this weekend.
Oh, fool.
So this will decide the season. That's all I gotta say. There's 5 teams that are definitely not going to the Super Bowl this
Cardinals
season.
beat the Vikings. Are going to the bowl, baby.
They have a good
Getting my
chance.
tickets. I'm gonna put a bet down like Paul.
Oh my God.
No, and that's something I learned last season. The Cardinals started out 7-0, but ended up essentially finishing 3rd in the division.
Yeah.
Like, even though, yes, they finished 2nd, it was the Rams and the 49ers that were in the NFC Championship. So
Yep.
they finished 3rd.
Tell me about it. At least they made it to the playoffs.
Doesn't matter if you don't show anything for it.
Just like the Suns.
Both disappointing. That's being an Arizona sports fan. Is they're on the top of the
They're like, oh, this is great. And then when it matters, they suck.
top of the league all season, and then it's just they blow it in the end.
Yep.
Speaking of the Suns,
Yep, Suns.
I'm totally not getting excited about them now again. So.
Well, I think they're playing much differently than before.
To be fair, yeah.
Yeah. They have this passion, almost like
Kind of like a killer mentality.
yeah, they need to prove themselves, you know?
They're not like talking anything.
It's what we
just-
wanted the Cardinals to be this season.
Yeah. Either way, I say I don't want to get excited about it, but I am getting excited about it. So I'll let you know when my disappointment sets in May.
Yeah. They might decide it before that.
That's true. Okay. That's sports.
That's sports this week. Let's get into the movie review.
This button scares me. Metaphorically speaking.
He's got a thick bass. It sounds so much better when you say it in a mic.
I'm gonna. What the hell's that from?
Don't worry about it. Shout out, Ron.
The fuck is Ron?
All right. So this past week we watched Black Adam, and I shouldn't have to preface this before, but spoilers for the Black Adam movie that came out last week.
Indeed.
Because we are going to review it.
Really?
And
Oh.
yeah,
Sure? Really?
Yeah, we're going to review it. So
We're gonna talk about the
spoilers
movie that
ahead.
you're reviewing?
We are doing timestamps, so if you don't want to hear the review or you don't want anything to be spoiled, then skip ahead. All right? Okay. So going forward, this is just something on hand I have just to give my initial thoughts about the movie. And here it is.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
I mean that to an extent, but
Come on,
So-
it's the few rock movie that it's not in a jungle and he's wearing like a button shirt that
I
the
know.
first 3 buttons are undone.
I know, right?
His little tan rolled up.
No,
short
here's the thing.
sleeves.
So I went into this movie really wanting to enjoy it.
Me too.
I went into
Me
it, I was
too.
like, I really want to like it because last week I think we played it off pretty well, but we knew that Henry Cavill was going to be in it in the end at the post-credit scene. So
My
just
boy.
that alone, I was like, I want to like this movie so bad, so I don't have to sit through 2 hours just to see Henry Cavill. And for like 8 seconds, but
True.
it was still beautiful.
Hey, baby, best 8 seconds of your life.
It was
With Henry Cavill, of course.
4
Of
seconds at
course.
that point.
4 seconds for Gav, 7 for me.
Wait, what are we talking about now?
We're talking about our time perception of Henry Cavill on screen.
Yeah, it's how long we saw Henry Cavill.
How we last.
No, how long we saw Henry Cavill.
Anyways, back to Black Adam, which every time I say Black Adam, I have to think about it because I almost say Shazam. Black Adam, here's... Gavin, what'd you think? You go.
Okay. So, right off the bat, this movie was the biggest piece of dog... No, it wasn't. Okay. It wasn't the biggest piece of dog shit.
Gavin watched it twice.
That being said, I really think this movie was fun for certain audience members, but for others that were hoping, I don't know, the closest this was like the Kong versus Godzilla of superhero movies for me.
Okay.
Where it's like,
what do you mean by that?
I mean by that as in, if you went into this expecting a convoluted, cool human story, you're going to be a little let down. But the action scenes,
It's
anytime,
The Rock.
oh, big monster, like that's, if you went into this with just, oh, this is going to be a cool action movie fun, then you're going to be pleasantly,
this whole
you're gonna
movie,
enjoy this movie.
the whole movie was just action. Like, it was all action. Very little just talking, even though some of it was like, oh, okay, let's get, like, let's move the plot along. I think one of my biggest gripes about it was this 2-hour long movie where from when it started to when it ended, very little actually ended up happening between that time.
Yeah.
Like, there was no plot progression throughout the majority of the movie, but it was fun. The action sequences were fun to watch. Seeing The Rock obliterate people in his like introduction fight scene,
dude. Okay,
was
I'm gonna give
pretty
that
epic.
I'm gonna give that a prop. That scene was fucking
Like,
cool.
it did have its strong moments, but there are a lot of lacking moments in the movie that just make the movie lackluster overall.
Right.
When we first watched it, I think, okay, if I can describe this movie in one word, it's sloppy. It's messy. There's not a lot of organization in the writing of it. They didn't optimize the characters to the fullest extent.
It's like, what's the minimum amount of storytelling that we could do to pack as much action?
That's basically what it was.
Which is why I compared it to like Kong versus Godzilla. Where
Right.
critics hated it because it's like, oh, the human characters were stupid. It's like nobody went for it to watch that movie.
Obviously,
but I mean,
Kong vs. Godzilla was awesome.
I had a great time.
but yeah, no. Anytime, that's why I said anytime big monster on screen, it was perfect. Like, but for Black Adam, I wouldn't.
Perfect.
I wouldn't say Black Adam is exactly like that, but I meant as in anytime there wasn't action going on, it was kind of just like just like it was just
really
sleeping
good way
the
of
whole
putting it.
time.
Yeah,
But
that's a good way of
and
describing
some
it.
of the acting was fine. Like the mom, the main woman, she was cool. I liked her. I felt like she was the most human. I didn't care for her son, who was pretty much who's Billy's
I forgot
foster
his
brother.
name, but yeah,
Pretty much Shazam, the hero craze, like, oh, let's see what you could withstand. What's your powers? Do you know Superman?
That's
type
one of my
shit? Like,
biggest, like,
it was annoying. We already saw you.
I hate that in superhero movies of late where they're aware they're in this superhero universe, so they're all like superhero craze. I've never liked that where they have their room like covered in superhero merch and stuff like in this world. Same thing with like Miss Marvel, like she's like that. She's superhero craze.
Which I mean, it could work.
But those characters are always annoying.
Yeah, no,
And why are they annoying?
The only reason I didn't like, well, one of the only reasons I didn't like this character was just because, again, it felt too similar to Shazam, which maybe that could have been what they were going for, considering he's a Shazam villain. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it
felt really forced.
It was the similar, and yeah,
it didn't flow well.
At least Billy's foster siblings had like charm to them. Mm-hmm. But here it was just, if you took out the superhero part of this kid, this character was non-existent at that point. Like, he did things, but his personality, superhero. I mean, shit, even at the end, he puts on the cape to be a superhero, which, again, I think that can work. But I want something else about this kid to attach to, aside from this is a 12-year-old boy who's finally seeing a superhero for the first time.
And I think, so I went in wanting to like the movie, right? It opens up with basically like ancient times and then this kid narrating it. And I don't think he gave the best performance in his acting. So it's just the narration was like lackluster. I don't know if it was the theater we were in or the sound design, but it didn't sound good either. So I'm having a hard time being like, okay, what's going on?
This was recorded on iMovie or something.
Yeah.
But so his narration of it, and I think that whole sequence in general, like, it opens up with this narration of this ancient hero and kind of establishes that. And then throughout the movie, you kind of find out, oh, it was actually this. Like, Black Adam, it was his son that died, and his son was this hero, and like this kind of twist thing that wasn't surprising at all, so it kind of took away from the twist. It was unnecessary. They didn't have to put it in there like that. They just could have told the story how it happened in that original narration and then gone on with the movie.
So I think one thing that I've heard discussed at school and stuff a lot.
Oh, that you've heard, huh?
Is that
you don't actually think, but you've heard it. Okay.
Well, no, I agree with this statement. Is in that it's okay for the audience members to know something that the cast members don't. Mm-hmm. So when you want to pull off twists like that, it could be something where they all think he's his son.
Yeah.
But the audience members knows, because at that point it just kind of comes off to me as lazy. That it was like, you really fucking thought that we were dumb enough.
No, yeah. Well, here's the thing.
That's one of the best ways to build tension.
I understand that for the audience to know.
Yeah.
But they filmed it in a way where they were trying to hide it from the audience.
Exactly. That's why I was saying.
Which is why I didn't like about it. Like, they would backlight The Rock when he was like the dad, like this frail guy, so that you didn't know it was actually him, but you can tell because it's his voice that's talking.
Yeah, they had him
talk. You can see his jawline and like he has a very uniquely shaped head.
Yes.
Also, he's
the
only fucking muscular dude there. Like, who else could that be?
They did make him smaller, but like he's still
the biggest one there. Like, who else would that be?
So
that's the pebble.
The fact that they tried to keep it a secret, and like, I get that, but if let's say the kid did the narration, but we see something else, or they frame it in a certain way where the audience knows, like, wait, that's not actually what happened. So then that tension between the characters is there, and the audience is aware of that, and like, oh, how is this going to shake out? Instead of the audience knowing and being like, what are they trying to do? And confused in the end, and it takes away from that tension.
Right.
Oh, I was going to say something about that. Tying into that, I got a little lost in... I mean, it happened a little too long where it was like, oh, yeah, my ancestor or my grandparents would tell me that this happened. I'm like, this happened 5,000 years ago. I'm like, there is a lot of details here that is being passed down. So, for instance, Ishmael, when he's saying, like, oh, you cried when this person died. I'm like, your grandparents for 5,000 years made sure to pass that fucking thing on.
Yeah.
And to the point where you remember, I'm like, what significance does that even hold? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
and then on top of that, he has a kid, or he's the son of the king, or descendant, I'm sorry, which I didn't know. I watched the second time. Maybe I'm dumb and I missed it for the second time, but there was no hint that this king had ancestors to go through. So that just kind of seemed like, oh, we got to tie him on.
That is the whole thing with the villain. The villain is the weakest. This villain is one of the weakest superhero movie villains I've seen.
Oh yeah, he was so lame.
It's because they have all this conflict, and then they tack on the villain at the end. And in addition to him being a horrible CGI mess, it was awful to look at. In the whole movie, like the CGI, it's good. It looks good. Dr. Fate looks good. Yep. Atom Smasher looks good, who's basically like Ant-Man going big. Even the Cyclone.
Yeah, she was cool. I loved her.
Her
scenes.
CGI was cool. Good. All that was so good, and then finally, like the final battle was the least lackluster part of the movie when it's supposed to be the best, right? So that was really weak of it, and this movie's been in the making forever. They've been trying to... The Rock's been wanting to be Black Adam for 15 years, and essentially it feels like a comic book. Maybe it would have succeeded really well 10, 15 years ago. But when you have comic book movies coming out like 3-4 times a year for the last 10 years, it's everything you've already seen in this movie. There's a lot of strong points, but there are significantly more weak points, in my opinion.
I don't like to compare movies like that to, like, say, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, because that's just not fair.
Infinity War is the best one of the
But
best.
I mean, when you have a villain like Thanos, it's hard for me to see that and then go right back to Obadiah. Or not even Obadiah. This was like fucking Whiplash. This wasn't even Obadiah. Because at least Obadiah was cool to an extent, but Ishmael was just... He was so... I don't know. And this movie fell victim when it comes to villains and, like, antagonists. It fell victim, in my opinion, to one of the worst goddamn tropes I hate seeing, and that's just... The hero is so goddamn strong that nobody stands a chance against him. Like, every single... I mean, he killed how many dudes when he woke up? And, I mean, I get it. He's strong, but, like,
A lot.
Every single villain we saw, including the main one, was fucking fodder against him. Nobody. I mean, even the Hell's Army. You know, they rise up their skeletons, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, oh my god!"
Hell's Army, and then like army from hell, basically, to take over this country. And the citizens from this country can just like have a pipe and hit these hell soldiers, and then they just crumble.
Yep.
They're just like tacked on.
And it was just like, damn, the Hell's Armies fucking suck. Like, good God. Like, this was...
Another win for the Lord, baby. Let's go.
I just... so, I would have liked it to have been more brutal in that aspect.
Yeah.
Like, show the civilians die. I want to see Kondak civilians, like, go, oh shit, and then, like, the Hell's Army start eating them or something. And then maybe they can fight back, and it's, like, super hard, but...
Yeah.
When you have somebody...
Exquisite.
When you have somebody show up, like the brother, after being shot, by the way...
Yeah.
Which I think Dr. Fate healed him, but like,
Still.
which we'll get into Dr. Fate. But the fact that he just shows up and just whoops ass, and I was just,
Civilian meat.
exquisite. I don't know, but
Dr. Fate was really underutilized, and there was a lot of things that he...
And I hate that he was like the best part of the Justice Society,
he was
too.
He was really good.
Brosnan,
there was moments
great
where
job.
his character didn't make sense, where he's like, I'm going to sit this one out, when it's like, you can easily...
You can end this right now.
Exactly. Or, I'm going to sacrifice myself and then simultaneously let Black Adam escape after I'm already dead, and then defeat the villain. When it's like...
Yeah, it just... I get it. I get why he wanted to sit it out, because he doesn't want to do this anymore. He's like, fuck it, like, whatever.
Just kill himself.
He literally wanted to fucking die. But so I mean, I can understand why he was super passive, but I wish we would have seen more from him aside from just clones. Like that is the extent we saw from him. He made a shield, he did some teleportation, and then made clones. He did this one reality warp thing when they first show up, which, in my opinion, had no weight. I think it was just to confuse Black Adam, because he made it look like his home, like when he was from it.
Yeah.
And then we never see that ever again.
I feel like that was one of the most effective things.
It was kind of like a reality stone thing, where it was like, oh, you're home? Like,
yeah.
And, again, we never see him do it again.
Yeah, well, he's this OP character, and it's like, oh, okay, let's not make him too OP.
Yeah. He had the Hulk treatment. He was like, oh, this guy's powerful. He could probably do this all on his own. We're going to make him the weakest one. And he's going to be... Well, he wasn't stupid. But...
No, he was... Pierce Brosnan was,
perfect.
I think, easily the best part of the movie, though.
Chef's kiss.
His performance,
amazing.
His character,
cool.
Even the character design was, like, really appealing to look at.
And he's the best James Bond. That was subjective. But... And so when we go to the Justice Society, I thought all of them were cool. I really did enjoy them. I like that they tried to make them more human by adding, like, Atom Smasher and Cyclone having a thing for each other, kind of. There's that romance arc, I guess, kind of. It was awkward.
He has human desires.
But I really think that it should have been the Justice Society versus Black Adam instead of Ishmael turning into...
Yeah, and that's something we discussed, too, of if they made that the overall conflict and then Black Adam beating them, but not, like, killing them.
Yeah.
Like, they end up like, okay, fine, like, you can have this, like, fine, we'll leave you alone. And then that leads to the post-credit scene. That would have been much more...
And you could have done that...
That would have been a stronger movie, just taking out that villain part, because that was the worst part of the movie.
That was stupid. And then you could have played with the theme more of who's really the villain.
Yeah.
Is it the Justice Society who's trying to defend this organization that's just completely colonizing and keeping all the civilians in this country in a shithole, pretty much? Mm-hmm. Or is it Black Adam who's killing them? Sure, morally incorrect, but he's freeing this country.
Yeah.
So it's like, who's really the asshole? Spoiler alert, it would be the Justice Society. But it's like, they wouldn't be villains, they would just be the antagonists.
Exactly.
And it's just, I think they were just kind of like, we need a villain, so let's make Ishmael random. I mean, it really felt random. Like, just,
yeah.
They were like, Pluck, yep, you're the villain. We need to quickly relate you to the hero. And then we need you to stand, quote unquote, stand a chance against him. So we're going to make you a demon. But when Black Adam shows up, he just whoops your ass. No problem. Like, oh man, I did not like how easy and how quick, like, it really feels like the Black Adam versus Ishmael fight was like 10 seconds. It really felt like it was just
it felt
over
really quick.
in a flash.
Another thing was Black Adam's choices felt really inconsistent. Like, just, oh, I'm not a hero, or like, okay, I'm a hero here, or I'm not going to help the Justice Society. I'm going to beat them all up, and then, okay, we need to help. Like, he was very back and forth.
I think it was a lot to do with kind of like what I said with Rings of Power, the Iron Giant type of story, where it was like the kid. He was meant to, he wasn't meant to be a villain, but like the kid was kind of teaching him what's right and wrong kind of thing, which I guess okay, but I feel like the dialogue could have been a little better, considering there were moments where he didn't understand sarcasm and then moments where he did. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know, just certain metaphors. Yeah, I really think that some of the characters were very poorly developed, and that hurt the movie more than it should have. Like, one of the worst things you can do in a superhero movie is have a character that just doesn't really need to be there and just useless.
Yeah.
And honestly, I felt that was kind of the case for Atom Smasher and Cyclone. They really didn't do shit. They helped beat him they helped beat Black Adam when he first showed up. But at the end, I know they were helping the city, but like that was just code for, hey, we don't really want you in this fight, so just you were in the background helping out.
Yeah.
And it was just, did we need them at that point? Considering, did they need to help the village? I mean, the villagers were whooping ass, so it's like, were they really necessary there? They could have helped.
Yeah, and it's a disappointing film overall, in my opinion, but when it was over, I'm like, okay, I'm excited. It's established. You got his origin story messily out of the way, but you have Black Adam, you have The Rock at the helm of it, who wants to be in this position, unlike a lot of other DC actors. And then with the addition to Henry Cavill returning as Superman, like, okay, everything's looking on the up. So I'm excited for what's to come. It's kind of how I felt when I watched Far From Home. I hated Spider-Man Far From Home. But then at the end, I was like, okay, he's coming into his own. He's becoming like independent, like Spider-Man, solo Spider-Man. I'm excited for what's to come. And then, he needed another mentor in the other Spider-Man with No Way Home. So
all that just for us.
So at the end of that movie, I'm like, finally, he's on his own. Like, let's see him be solo Spider-Man. But with Black Adam, I'm excited. I don't want to use the word excited. What's
optimistic?
I'm optimistic for the future, and I think it's going to be better going forward.
Fair.
But yeah, and then Henry Cavill at the end looked beautiful and back in the
perfect.
suit. No natural hair. Lip. No CGI lip.
Let's go.
Yeah.
What a beautiful guy. And then he posted on his Instagram, like, announcing his official return as Superman.
And then didn't they confirm Man of Steel recently too?
Yep. So they're doing Man of Steel 2.
Perfect. Finally. That's what we've been waiting for.
It's in the very early development, so I think the earliest we would even see anything for it would be like 2025. Yeah.
Phase 7.
But
what's the ratings, boys?
Yeah, what would you rate it, Gavin?
So, again, it's just a popcorn movie. I can't rate it any higher than I would like Pacific Rim, despite how much I like that movie.
You love Pacific
Rim.
Rim.
But I can't really say that that's an amazing, Oscar-worthy, oh my God, fucking genre-defining film. I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. I am going to give it some brownie points because The Rock made this
percentage.
movie. Huh?
Percentage. You said
70%.
70%.
Okay, well, I mean...
So I'm going to give it some brownie points, though, because The Rock made this movie with the mindset of, I don't give a shit what critics say. I'm not going to pander to critics. So I enjoyed that. I'm so fucking glad to hear that. So I hope, as much as I don't want the movies from going forward to kind of be like this, I hope they have that mindset of, we're just going to tell a story we want. I don't care what I don't care what Rotten Tomatoes has to say. Mm-hmm. So I like that. I hope more filmmakers have that opinion going forward.
Fair point.
Will I watch this movie again? I probably will. Just because, like I said, action scenes are fun. It's a popcorn movie. If I have some time to waste.
I'd put it on if I needed to fold some laundry.
Yeah, it's like, if I have some time to waste or something, I'll definitely throw this movie on.
Cool.
But if I want to watch a movie, I don't think this will be one I pick.
If I want to watch a movie but be on my phone at the same time, this is what I would put on.
Yeah.
I would rate it a 63%. Coming in here, I was like, this thing's going to get a 45, but, 63%.
Cool.
I think is more fair, which usually is what happens once we talk about it. Okay, it wasn't that bad. But when I say it's not that bad, that's implying it was bad, so don't be confused.
Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great.
Our initial reaction, me and Gavin saw it in theaters, and we were leaving, and Gavin's like, that was the worst superhero movie I've ever seen. I can't think of a worse superhero. I would rather watch Thor 2 than that movie.
That's specifically why I rewatched this. I'm like, there's no fucking way this was the worst movie, and I'm glad I did. Otherwise, I would have came to this movie review very dumb.
I'm glad it was on the bad end of things because I really wanted to play that video of The Rock saying it's the biggest piece of dog shit. So that's good. That's a benefit of it. But yeah, it's good.
I'm excited for next week's.
Oh shoot! Yeah. Okay. So what movie are we watching next week?
Okay, let me ask that since you're the one that's...
Oh, okay, yeah.
What movie are we watching next week?
Oh, he doesn't even know.
No, he knows.
No, I know, but
okay.
it's his choice, so...
It's my choice. Wait, it's not my choice. This is a random generator.
No, this was your choice.
All right, it was my choice. We're watching The Notebook.
Woo! Let's go!
And Jacob has seen it already, so
I
maybe
have
he
seen
will
it.
be able to contribute to the review
Multiple
next week.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
That's from the movie.
Yep.
Shut up.
Fun fact, my brother watched that in the army with his buddies, and they were all crying to that movie.
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
I have never cried at a movie before, except for Marley and me.
You
when I
guys,
was
you
12.
guys should watch it together.
You want to watch it together, Gavin?
Fuck no, I don't want to watch
You
that
can
with
come
you.
over and we can
No.
It'd be so
have
cute.
some popcorn and
I think I'll probably watch it twice, though.
we watch Black Adam again
It's a good movie.
in the background while we do other things.
Okay.
Whoa.
Folding laundry, Jacob.
Could be folding something.
Yeah, okay, so be sure to watch The Notebook. I think Ryan Gosling will hold the record for most movies we've reviewed.
Is he tied with Colin Farrell right now?
We'll have to go through and check, but I know it. Drive, Blade Runner. What's the other one?
Those are some weird leaders. Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell and Ryan
Ryan
Gosling.
Well, because Colin Farrell was also in The Batman, but he wasn't the star.
That's true. He was in the Batman, and then what other movie did we?
The Phone Booth.
Phone Booth. We'll go through it, and we'll get you a number next week. With that being said, let's get into The Static.
Welcome to The Static.
Oh, exquisite.
He's got a thick bass.
Can you stop saying that?
Oh my gosh. Gavin, what are you becoming? Okay.
Also, didn't your family watch this?
Yeah. What? He's got a thick bass.
Hi, Mr.
I
Kessler.
said that to my dad 10 times tonight.
What?
Probably close to 20.
Okay.
Continue.
The
All right.
Static. Woo.
Road rage. So last night, worked pretty late. Was driving home after work, and I'm on a ramp, right? Like one of those little those big ones.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but
Okay,
One of the big swirly ones. Woo. Okay.
Yeah, you go
Anyways.
from one freeway to the next.
Exactly.
So you're going over.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
You go overpass.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I think there's a word for that. Overpass.
Overpass. Anyways, so there's it's a semi truck, but it's like a work semi truck. So it's not a long trailer. It's like
Like a U-Haul,
kind of,
but like longer,
Huh.
smaller.
yeah, I'd say longer. But it's a big, like the truck is big. So it's like a semi truck, but the trailer is like
I don't know what you're trying to get at.
I don't know what the hell you're getting at.
let's just say semi truck.
Is it like an 18-wheeler?
No.
Smaller than that.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
less than average sized semi
Still,
truck.
but the truck itself, like the actual truck, the cabin, was the same as an 18-wheeler.
Okay. So it's still getting the job done, but it's not as big as the actual semi truck.
Yeah, because the size doesn't really matter.
So the trailer just wasn't as big.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we can work with that.
Okay.
But how wide is
Big
it?
truck. Why does the size matter? A big truck.
No. Anyways, so we get on like the overpass, the ramp at the same time, and I go past him because faster, whatever. And then this bitch turns on their brights at me. I see it. Brights come on. I'm like, oh,
Paul's
okay.
gonna get mad at you,
You're
bro.
an asshole. Whatever. So I speed up, and then they speed up, and they are right. They're tailgating me as a semi. My little Camry. I have a Camry. Oh, that was weird.
Should have slowed down. I would have slowed the fuck down.
Yes, because I would have won that fight, Gavin.
You might get a paycheck.
I would have died.
I mean, you don't hit the brakes. You just slow down.
He had a thick base. Anyways, but yeah, and the freeway as well was also becoming smaller and smaller, going into one lane. So we're just trapped in one lane. It's behind me, and it's getting really close to where I'm speeding up. I'm going significantly over the speed limit, and this thing is still on me. And I just felt like I was in a Joyride with Paul Walker and Steve Zahn.
That is the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you seen that, Gavin?
I have not.
You should check it out. I think you would really like it.
You ever seen that movie, Gavin?
But it's Paul Walker and Steve Zahn. Steve Zahn.
Who's the girl?
I don't remember. Yeah, you look it up.
I'll get back to you.
But yeah, that's what I felt like, and then I thought I was going to die. I was getting more annoyed than anything. So I almost died there, and then Saturday night I went up to the Grand Canyon, and it was snowing, and I couldn't see anything, and I thought I was going to die there. And before it was snowing, it was raining really hard when I was passing through Flagstaff, so I thought I was going to die there. It was also really dark, and I couldn't see anything.
Okay.
But that's just the road. That's the way it is on the road.
Yeah, so I also had a semi-truck story. It was on the way here.
It was on the way here.
There was a semi-truck leaving this plaza, and they were, like, in the middle of the road. So when I turned in, I had to, like, I almost hit the curb, like, turning, like, I couldn't go past him. Mm-hmm. And I could see him slowly swerve back to the right side of the road. And, like, we stopped at the point to where we were looking at each other while he's trying to make the right. And I'm stuck, like, I'm trapped in that one little corner of the road. And I'm just looking at him, and he's looking at me, and I fucking hate when people are in the wrong and they give me, like, what the hell are you doing look. Well, and I'm like, you are literally in the middle. They did the math when they made this fucking road, okay? They looked at it and said, yep, there's 2 lanes. 2 cars can fit here. They can go back and forth. I'm sure they brought the fucking tape measure out and they checked. So, love that. And I just, like, kind of looked at him, and he looked at me with just, like, the fucking grimace. And I'm just like, I'm not going to repeat him on the show, but god damn, I was pissed. But yeah, that is my annual notice to hate the fuck out of semi-truck drivers for some reason.
So you hate truck drivers, huh?
I just don't meet that many good ones. Except for Paul.
You ever met Paul?
You ever met Paul?
But with my experience, semi-trucks just makes me wonder how the fuck you got your license. And it makes me scared because I'm like, damn. You're driving a semi-truck, dude.
Okay. Oh,
So-
okay.
So, yeah, that's my experience with those. I don't have good experiences with them at all.
Jacob, you got a near-death car experience this week? Or, I guess, the past 3 weeks since you haven't been here?
Probably.
It just happens, you know?
Not that I can remember. Kind of just go into, like, autopilot when I'm driving.
Yeah.
Highway hypnosis.
Something happens, I forget about it. I got a short memory when I get mad on the road. I have to really try to remember so I can talk about it on this segment, but I haven't been here in a while, so.
Yeah. Drivers.
That, and then on the way to school, there's just plenty of people that they could have just gone into the left lane, like the HOV lane. But instead what they do is they, like, go to the right past me and then speed up. And then they, like, there's a car in front of them, so then they get in front of me. And then they use another turn to get in the HOV lane. They do, like, a complete circle around me.
Yeah.
And they're just like, they're one of those cars that, like, weave in and out, which is another thing. I love it when cars are weaving in and out. And then they might disappear for, like, 20 seconds, and then, like, you'll notice, like, 10 minutes later, oh, hey, there's that same car. Asshole. It's like, wow. It's like if you had just stayed in your lane instead of going back and forth playing Snake. Same arrival. Why do people do that?
Because they have a thick base.
Do you do that? I noticed you're looking at me like, do you do that?
Do what?
You just weave in and out of traffic?
I hate people that do that. Ethan does that.
I hate it when they do it
usually.
and they do it. It's not even when they just do it, but it's like when they're going fast and it's like one wrong move from a car in front of them and they're just going to collide. It's like, it's one thing if you get into one lane at a time, but where they'll go through. Like, I watched a truck go from the HOV lane all the way to the exit lane.
I hate when cars do that, yeah.
I was like, oh my God. This is like 5 p.m. too. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Don't you prepare for your exit?
Nope.
I'm usually in the lane that I need to be.
Good luck, everybody else.
Good luck, everybody else.
Causes a 15-car pileup. I watched a car accident happen. Just a rear ending. But
Didn't you get rear-ended?
I did.
Recently?
It was by a Sonata.
It was like a year ago, right?
No.
It was.
Yeah, it wasn't even that person's car. It was their brother's car who was in the military.
They were trying so hard to get me like, please, can we just resolve this by going to like a shop and we'll just pay for it? Don't put an insurance claim. And I was like, what's your insurance information?
That sounds so sketchy, so no.
Yeah, I was like,
so
what's your
sketchy.
insurance information? They're like, hey, and they gave it to me. They're like, hey, so if you ever want to if you ever want to take it to a shop and let us know, haha, like that way we don't have to take it to a, like, we don't have to submit a claim. And I was like, okay. Called their insurance company like 2 minutes later, like on the way home.
That's the right move.
That's super sketchy.
Well, yeah, dude, it was
so
like
funny.
It was like $3,000 in damages. So it's like, you're really just gonna pay that out of pocket? The hell out of here.
No shot.
No shot. Write down the timestamp for that. I'm gonna get that on the soundboard. That's funny. That's a good one. That's one worthy of me being okay. Let's put it on the soundboard.
Yeah, sometimes I both love and hate driving.
I love it. I find it very therapeutic.
For the most part.
But I never drive during rush hour, so
I hate driving. That's like all I can drive through. Like, it sucks.
Some of the only time that I can like listen to the radio, listen to shows or music. So I don't mind being like in traffic most days. It's just like if I'm trying to get somewhere on like a time limit, then that's when the idiots come out. It seems like and they target me. Like this morning, even like I was going to turn onto the freeway. Well, actually, before that, I was coming up on a light, and there was a car in front of me, and I was going probably right around the speed limit. I'm pretty sure it was just below it. So I mean, it's not like I'm mad at him, but most people go a little over, if anything.
Not me though.
So I'm staying in this lane because I got to prepare to turn left, and this car is going so slow for like a half mile. I'm right behind it, and it's a one lane. So I'm like, oh god, and I'm trying to get to work. So I'm like, okay. And this light's coming up, and we're getting close to it, and it's green. I'm like, dude, right when we get there, it's gonna be like just barely where this car can get past, but it's like I'm gonna run the red light if I try. It's exactly what happens. I expected it, so I still got pissed off though. And then after that, I was getting onto the freeway, and then same thing, a car that's in one of the lanes that I get into to turn left to go onto the freeway to merge. It's going so slow as there's a green arrow, and those green arrows are not long.
Nope.
And so it turns yellow as this guy's going, and I'm like, I'm going to run this red light. And I'm like, you know what? At this point, I'm going for it. I'm taking it. And I was a little late, but I made it. It wasn't going to happen twice in a row.
yeah, that's the worst. Earlier tonight, so I told you guys about the 12-minute red light, right?
Yes.
So earlier
wild.
tonight, on Mill turning on Southern, I was there at the red light, the red arrow light. Light turns green, not the arrow, but everyone else. Everyone else is going. I was like, I thought usually the arrow turned green first at this light.
It does.
Funny, okay. So, yeah, it just went through a cycle without letting me or any of my comrades go through.
Your comrades.
Yeah, when I'm in a shitty traffic situation, I'm in it with these other people. When I was driving up north in that rain and the snow, I was like, these are my people right here, these semi-trucks.
Your fucking battle mate.
Exactly.
That red arrow was like, this is where we hold them. This is why we fight.
So
all
it
others leave.
So that light went through 2 cycles before a green arrow.
Remain.
That's fucking happy feet. That's a good movie. Happy Feet, great movie. Great movie. Electric cast.
That movie was horrific.
You shut your whore mouth. Say that again? That movie was what?
Exquisite.
You're right.
Yeah, you're
Good
right.
job,
It was
Gavin.
exquisite, Gavin.
Whatever.
But yeah, I guess lights hate me.
Rough. Very rough.
Just like me, for real.
And then coming from Gilbert, the Gilbert location, getting on the freeway.
Mm-hmm.
So the light is red before you're on the overpass to turn left.
Right, like
onto the
there's
freeway.
2 lights.
There's 2 lights.
You gotta
yeah.
go to the green arrow,
So that
and then the green arrow. to get you to turn.
always turns red, and then you see the green arrow over there, and you're like, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
I do hate that.
And then it turns green, and then you get there, and then it's red, and you're like, gosh. Every time. There's no beating it. So, like, something that should take 2 minutes to drive a mile and then get on the freeway ends up taking like 7 minutes because of these multiple red lights.
I hate that when you have to stop at a light. Like, it'll be like 2 a.m, you're just cruising, and you're like, oh shit, you gotta stop because you're not there like quick enough. And then it's just because one car was waiting to turn left. It's like a Mini Cooper. I just maintain eye contact. I'm like, you fucking asshole.
What are you doing out
Where
of this
you
hour?
going?
Oh, I'm gonna pull a U-turn, follow you. That happens to me every night too.
Every night, huh?
Yep.
What are you doing out so late?
None of your damn business.
Ooh.
Anyway,
Wait, was it the light by my house?
no.
It kind of is, isn't it, though? If you're coming from where we think you're coming from.
No.
He's not coming where you think he's coming from.
Anyway.
He keeps on coming and he don't stop
exquisite.
coming. And he don't
Shut
stop coming and he don't stop coming.
Anyway, let's continue.
That's from Shrek.
Yeah, no. Actually, it's Smash Mouth.
It's in Shrek. That's Road Rage. Thank you for joining us on Road Rage this week.
Yes.
Road Rage.
So back to this 10 100-year-olds or 100 10-year-olds. You think you can take 100 10-year-olds?
All right. So here's what we'll do.
What do you mean here's what we'll do?
All right. So if you're going to take the 10 100-year-olds,
Yeah.
it's bare knuckle.
Okay.
But if you're going to do the 110-year-olds, I'm going to spin this huge-ass weapon wheel that I got. And you have to use whatever it is.
I'm taking the 100-year-olds. 10 100-year-olds.
Yeah, but let's say they're like Aragorn. So they're practically like 30-year-olds.
So that changes
That's
the
completely
prompt
different.
completely.
All right, fine.
That's 10 Aragorns.
It's just 10 30-year-olds.
All right, fine. Well,
Because you know it's a dumb prompt.
We'll do like natural.
Yeah, that's a stupid
100-year-olds.
question. 100-year-olds are bedridden.
Sometimes.
Can't
My
even
great
think.
grandmother is 97. I think I can take 10 of her.
All right, well, I'm going to make it interesting. So I'm going to choose the 10 or the 110-year-olds.
And she's 3 years shy
Let's see what weapon I got. I got throwing axes.
against your 110-year-olds.
Honestly, I just use them as normal axes.
No, you have to throw them.
You have to throw them, Gavin. And
No, it doesn't
honestly,
say I have to throw 'em.
I still think if you had 2 axes,
That's two of them that I'm taking out.
I still think those 10-year-olds get the best of you.
I agree.
That's
Think so?
100
yeah, but they're
people.
10.
Have you met a 10-year-old?
Anyway, I got this because the prompt was
You'd just be outnumbered.
110-year-olds versus like Mike Tyson, The Rock, and John Cena. Who wins?
The 3 of them?
Yeah,
The
all
3 of them they
versus
can take.
110-year-olds.
3 of them, I think they can take it.
Mike Tyson's dropping them one by one. Like he's fucking One Punch Man. He's one tapping them.
But I feel like if it was just one of them,
These are like 10-year-old, like they're like brains like zombies, like they're not gonna stop.
Yeah.
or is
Then
it like,
yeah, like you're gonna have a hard time.
Well, let's
If
put,
they're
like,
just like
human
actual 10-year-olds, like
Let's put like human limitations. Like they can feel pain and fear, but like
But like if it's a 10-year-old and you punch him in the face with Mike Tyson punching
gonna
him,
fucking die.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's
You
dropping
punch him,
them.
he's gonna cry.
You think I couldn't kill a 10-year-old in one hit?
No,
I think I could.
I'm comparing you and Mike Tyson. You have the same
no,
punch.
no, we do
You're
not
just
have
so
the same
strong, Gavin. You're just like Mike Tyson.
No, but I think I could kill a 10-year-old in one punch.
You know what? Let's test that.
I don't want to test
We'll
that.
test it the
That's
same
illegal.
time
this
that Paul's
week,
doing the
this week
isolation.
on Mythbusters.
I will not test that because that is illegal, and I don't condone illegal actions.
Oh, I didn't say we were actually going to punch a 10-year-old. I just said we're going to test how strong your punch is.
I think I could definitely, at the very least, put somebody in a coma, like a 10-year-old in a coma. Like a grown person, I don't
Well,
know, maybe it would hurt.
But not 100 of
We have a 10-year-old here right now.
Or okay, I'm gonna kick you in the nuts as hard as I can. Wind up everything, and you're blindfolded, and you have no idea when it's coming. Or
What do I get from it?
no, this is a
Oh,
this is
okay.
one or the other. Or same thing, you're blindfolded, you have no idea when it's coming. Tyson in his prime is gonna punch you in the rib as hard as he can. Like you're gonna have your arm up, and you just don't know when it's coming, and
He's
he's
gonna
hit
break
you.
my ribs.
He's gonna kill
I
you.
will have eternity.
I
He's
think
gonna,
he's gonna kill you.
He's gonna kill you.
Anyway, me and the
So death or being kicked in the balls.
Wave God were discussing this prompt,
Shout out Wave
and
God.
he said he would rather take the kick, or he would take the punch in the ribs.
But you just said he would die.
Well, I mean, there's a good chance, but you would need to go to the hospital regardless. Yes, because he's going to shatter all of your ribs and probably puncture a lung or two. So you are indeed going to need to go to the hospital. But at the same time, if I'm kicking you in the nuts as hard as I can, we're going to group them up too. So there's no chance that I go in between.
Oh my
this.
gosh.
I probably deserve whatever's coming if I'm ever put in this situation to have to pick one of these.
So it's like imagine these shoes on, and I'm just boom as hard as I can.
Yeah, I'd pick the nuts because I don't trust Gavin to kick anything.
What do you mean?
You're not Justin Tucker or anything, so you're fine.
It's Mike Tyson.
That's gonna hurt.
Plus, my balls are huge.
It's an easy target.
He's
then.
got it.
Less to hit.
How does that make sense?
I got more surface area on my balls than your foot.
Yeah, but I said we're grouping them up, so it's like I'm hitting both the testicles.
Not if you.
Who's doing the
You
grouping?
can't hit both of them.
Who's doing the grouping?
I'll let you hold them.
No, I'm not going to hold him.
Then I'll hold them.
Oh, you're going to hold my balls.
No.
You think you can hold my balls?
Again?
Is that from something?
No. Should be, though. From this.
Last night.
But yeah. So those are my prompts.
Easy answers for both.
So you would take the nut punch then, or the nut kick.
I would
Take the nut kicks and I beat the 10 100-year-olds.
Now, what if the 10 100-year-olds are like kung fu masters?
Are
They
they
still have human limitations.
Yeah, but like, what if they're like still for their age are still in relatively good shape? So it's like they're putting up a little bit of a
So
fight.
they're like 80 then.
The best shape
no.
100-year-old.
No, they're like they can move, but I mean they're still like sluggish. But they're gonna put up more of a fight than just bedridden 100-year-olds.
See, you're getting way
Why
too
do you
into
keep
the
changing
specifics.
these
Exactly.
prompts?
Because I'm trying to like make it more of a harder choice.
Okay, but they're injected with adamantium.
That would be impossible.
Wow. Look how I changed that.
Yeah, but I'm not making it impossible.
Okay, your prompt's over. Move to Gavin vs. Wild. I want to see Gavin die by an
Gavin versus Wild.
Let's go.
I'm going to get... I'll tell you after.
Thank you.
Okie dokie. Oh, exquisite.
Last week, it was Gavin
we went
versus an anaconda.
We've been like 2 weeks without that button.
I know. Feels good to have it back, huh?
Damn it. No, it doesn't. Stop.
Exquisite.
Gavin with a sledgehammer versus an anaconda.
Anaconda?
Anaconda?
Easy dub for Gav.
Easy peasy.
And it was. Gavin won by 70%, 70 to 30.
Not bad.
The one that I'm really upset about is the Komodo dragon that Gavin won to very easily. When we read those stats when Paul was here, and Gavin should have died immediately.
No.
Dragons are killers.
They are
What was my weapon again?
a butcher's knife,
I don't know.
a cleaver.
I think I have a chance. If I can go to a hospital afterwards.
Nope, you're in the wild. You're so, I think I have a chance if I had a rocket launcher.
If I go to the hospital afterwards, I should be fine.
I think I have a chance if it was a baby Komodo dragon. I think I have a chance if it was 100 years old and bedridden.
Oh, God. What's this week's, Ethan?
This week's I have Gavin versus blank.
Never heard of that animal.
Neither have I.
All right, we're going to try something a little different here.
Oh, God.
We're going to go into the fantasy animals.
Fantasy animals. Yeah, I haven't even beaten all the animal species on Earth yet.
That was a great sentence.
We got plenty more.
I haven't even beaten all the animals.
All right, Gavin versus a polar bear. How do we do that?
Jesus
Rocket launcher.
Christ.
Rocket launcher. The biggest bear known to man.
I was gonna say at that point I legit would need a firearm for that one. Like maybe the other bears you could argue a melee.
I'll give you a
weapon or something.
crossbow.
That is not a firearm.
But a Van Helsing one, like an automatic one.
Can I have the one from Shrek 2? Yeah, the one that's like a fucking minigun. If I get that,
Spin your weapon
yeah.
wheel. Let's see what you got.
You get a Pokemon of your choice.
I don't like my weapon wheel because we have weapons like the golden gun and then we have
toaster.
like a paper clip. All right, let's see here. Okay,
And
okay,
spin
okay.
to win, spin to win.
We got a baton.
Oh, yeah.
I
Easy
think
dub
that's easy dub.
I don't know about that one.
for the polar bear.
I didn't like that weapon.
Would you like to use your respin?
It just spun past 4 bricks.
Human version.
I got the ray gun.
Oh, fuck.
I win. Easy.
Do you though?
That is the
But what
easiest.
version of the ray gun? Black
Any-
Ops 3?
You could use any version.
No.
Dude, that thing was ripping limbs off of
How
people.
about Cold War?
I didn't play Cold War.
Yeah, it's the shittiest one.
Standing on their hind legs, a polar bear can be up to 10 feet tall.
Can I have a platoon of soldiers? Me and a platoon of Marines.
And they weigh, oh my gosh, he's got a thick base.
How about you get 110-year-olds?
I would take that fight. I would use them as... Oh, dude, I would just wait for the polar bear to get tired. Hopefully he gets tired by the 100th one.
Dude, no shot.
I'm getting that, dude.
I got Superman's powers.
We're doing that tonight.
You think Superman can beat a polar bear?
No. Polar bears are pretty strong.
What could kill a polar bear? Adult polar bears
rocket
have no
launcher.
natural predators except other polar bears.
Or humans?
You get your own
get
polar
your
bear
own polar bear.
Pokemon.
I get my own polar bear Pokemon. Me with a Charizard versus a polar bear. I will gladly take that.
I don't know. I don't think that's an easy fight, though.
I can just fly up with Charizard and just heat blast him.
You can't fly up though. Charizard flies.
Yeah, but I can go. Yeah, well,
No, this is a Pokemon battle.
if we're doing a Pokemon battle, then the polar bear legally can't touch me. Even after the Charizard faints, I get to go.
Okay, it's Yu-Gi-Oh rules.
I don't know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Their PSI is 1235.
What does that mean? Oh, their bite force?
Yeah,
That's pretty strong.
I think so too.
What's a Charizard's PSI?
Let me look it up.
I'm sure that's a statistic.
I'm sure it is too. It's
What's
um
Oh no. Okay, let's think about this.
All right, do you want to do fantasy animal? We'll do fantasy animal. Fine. Because I think polar bear is an unrealistic animal.
Without giving you like a big ass
Without giving
gun.
me like a fucking... Even then, I don't know if a gun would work.
give you Excalibur.
There are guns that won't work on like black bears, let alone a polar bear. Excalibur?
Sword.
It's just a sword.
Yeah,
No.
But it's a cool sword.
cool sword with a cool name.
It makes you the king.
Does make you the king.
Yeah, it's true.
But the king is also the weakest piece on the chessboard.
That is true. The king is kind of a pussy, not gonna lie.
All right, a polar bear. Damn,
We're not doing fantasy animals.
we already said polar bear. I think everyone's invested in the polar bear.
I like the polar bear.
This is going back to like this thing's gonna need a nerf, and I'm gonna need a huge buff.
All right, I'm just gonna.
A polar bear is 100 years old and bedridden.
I like the
But it's a martial art.
But it's a martial artist master.
It was trained by Poe, the panda.
Fuck.
Um,
I want the military grade Chihuahua.
I'll give you military green
Oh,
chihuahuas.
that wouldn't do shit.
Oh my gosh, I just did random weapon generator, and the thing that comes up is machine gun.
Oh god.
I get a hunter killer drone.
I'll give you a whip.
Nope. I wouldn't do shit.
I'll give you a slingshot. You can David and Goliath this bitch.
I don't think that would work. And he had a sling, not a slingshot.
Same thing. Flamethrower.
I'll take that.
Okay.
Is that a fair fight?
Yeah.
That could be fair.
Like what kind? Like a World War II flamethrower?
Sure. No shot.
That's
Elon
easy.
Musk flamethrower.
That's fucking easy.
I don't know.
Okay.
They're
Wait,
made
let's
of
try this.
flammable objects.
How about
Thick hide?
5 Molotovs?
No, I like the flamethrower.
2 Molotovs.
2 Molotovs.
I like the flamethrower.
I like the flamethrower too, but I feel like the fact that you like it so much is it's just too easy then.
You could put me up against a dragon. I'd still take the flame. The flamethrower's cool. You wouldn't want to use a flamethrower?
I can put you up against a dragon with the flamethrower.
No. Well, the dragon's got to be small.
No. Like, you can put me up against a dragon. No.
I would just be happy to have used a
Wrong.
flamethrower.
All right, I'll give you a flamethrower.
But the polar bear has sunglasses. It's a Coca-Cola polar
But the
bear.
flamethrower is resistant to fire.
The flamethrower?
What?
The polar bear is resistant to
Oh,
fire.
stupid. Fine, then I'm resistant to polar bears.
Oh shit! Now it's a fair fight.
That is a fair fight.
How about me?
You have a sea bear circle.
Okay, fine. What if we do this?
You're wearing your
Me?
anti-sea rhinoceros underwear.
All right. Me,
Pepper spray.
I'm
That's
the
what it
size of a polar bear. What if it's me, polar bear sized, versus a polar bear that's me sized?
I just like the flamethrower.
I like the flamethrower too. I also,
It's easier to conceptualize.
you guys are both pepper sprayed.
Is there a type of armor that would help me?
What's that? What's
Not
that?
sure.
What's that polar bear armor from that one movie?
Is polar bear armor?
You have that armor.
the golden compass.
Golden compass.
Huh? What's that?
You get that polar bear against this polar bear. Oh Jesus!
I gotta look this up.
No, I
Flamethrower and polar bear. I like it.
like it. Gavin with a flamethrower versus a mega polar bear.
Let's see where the people's trust lies.
Good God, I would not want to go.
Metaphorically
armor.
speaking.
Metaphor.
How would I do this? What's the scene in B movie where it's just like laughing? I would literally just fucking mag dump it,
Okay,
and then if all else fails, maybe I'll use a little bit of it left.
You got to
on
build
me,
a fort,
so
Gavin.
but you're in the ocean of gasoline.
Forts win wars.
At least I still win. Like theoretically, I still win.
Forts win wars.
Yeah, can I have a snow fort?
It's another from SpongeBob, so yes.
Yes, but inside the snow fort is the polar bear's cubs.
You can have
What if I held them
Squidward's
hostage?
Fort of Servitude.
You can't.
Servitude.
We don't negotiate with polar bears though, so I don't know if we would be able to. Can they understand English?
Let me check. See.
Like
no.
if I had its cubs, would I be able to negotiate? No.
Gavin with a flamethrower versus a
There's
polar
a war
bear.
crime in there somewhere.
There's a war
Are
crime.
polar bears protective of their cubs?
I'm sure.
I think all bears are.
Well, I mean, there's some animals that don't give a shit about their children.
Okay.
Are polar bears?
I think Gavin has a good shot with just a flamethrower. But
But
we'll
we start 2 inches away.
Mother
inches.
polar bears are extremely protective of their young, even risking their own lives in their cubs' defense.
There you go.
So
I don't think you want their cubs then.
I think I could, because if I kill the mom, that means I get to have polar bear cubs.
Okay, you have polar
I get
bear
polar
cubs.
bear cubs if I win.
Yes, that's your prize.
I already have
Let's
sharks.
go.
I already have fucking baby sharks. I don't know if I need.
Sharkussy.
The polar bear is horny. A female polar bear. What I'm doing is I'm wearing a male polar bear hide, and it thinks I'm a polar bear.
The polar bear is horny.
That was just a joke. You don't have to put that in there.
No, I know, but
Please don't put that in there.
we're gonna open the show with sound bites from previous shows.
Let's go.
The polar bear is horny. That's gonna be one of them.
Ugh.
All right,
GG's.
I dig it. Gavin with the flamethrower versus a polar bear.
I'll give the nod to Gavin.
I'll give the nod to Gavin too. I think he'll win it. I think he'll run away with it. Just
Really?
I'd run away with the flamethrower.
no. I think it's
We'll
gonna
see.
be like 80-20.
I don't think it'd be that close.
Well, how
think so.
quickly, if you were to
Or
burn a polar
far.
bear alive, how long would it take for it to die? Is that a Google?
Dude, I don't think that's a Googleable question.
Has anyone tried
if
to
I
burn
were
a
to-
polar bear?
In my experience, I have no fucking clue.
Well, because they're big, right? So it's like
He's
they
got
would be able to heat up a lot. They would, if they were to overheat, it would be worse. So it's like being surrounded by fire like that. Would it kill them quicker?
No.
Or would it take longer?
I think normal time.
Which is
Exactly.
normal
Exactly.
Normal time. All right, cool. So that's Gavin versus Wild. Be sure to vote on our Instagram at OEF White Noise. You can either leave it in the comments, you can vote on the poll, or you can comment on this video on YouTube, and we take all the comments into account for the voting. Mm-hmm. And that's Gavin versus Wild for you. Let's move on to the DaJakey Factuality.
I do have one.
Dude.
And he does have one. We forgot Space with
Forgot
Gavin.
Space with Gavin. All right, we'll do it after.
Oh, sad. Well, my fact of the week. It's been a while, so
been a while.
I'm going to add to your fear of the ocean if you already have one.
I do.
He was just talking about that last night.
I was going to say I do.
There you go. So the United Nations, the UN, estimates over 3 million shipwrecks are somewhere lost in the ocean, destroyed, or deliberately sunk.
I wasn't paying attention. Repeat
3
that.
million?
Over 3 million shipwrecks.
Since when, though?
Yeah, like,
That's a lot.
Forever.
is that like
Oh, okay.
going back to the Viking times?
Sure.
That's a lot. So is
That
there
is a
treasure?
lot. I was going
Yes.
to say, think of how much fucking money's at the bottom of the oceans.
I want to be a treasure hunter.
Does that include plane crashes?
Shipwrecks.
Or just shipwrecks? Like not shipwrecks
Shipwreck.
total?
Wreck ship.
Cool.
Shipwreck.
Okay, got it.
Lost.
Planes aren't they technically airships?
Yes.
No.
I think they're actually a plane.
Aircraft.
Craft.
Watercraft.
Mac and cheese.
Ship. Chris Kringle. Fish stick.
Okay.
Chris stick.
So, do we have the space fact?
Yes. Space.
Astronomers recently discovered an unusually fluffy Jupiter-sized planet akin to a marshmallow that may be the least dense gas giant ever recorded, orbiting a red dwarf star.
So there's a marshmallow planet?
It is located 580 light years away from Earth in the Auriga constellation and was recently observed by scientists using a 3.5 meter telescope at Kitt National Observatory in Arizona. Arizona number 1. Exquisite. Who recently shared their findings in the Astronomical Journal, if I can speak. There we go. Found by Cron.com. Written by Ariana Garcia.
Jet
Thanks,
Puff
Ariana.
Planet. Let's go.
Or Ariana, however you pronounce it.
That's Space with Gavin.
That is Space This Week with Gavin.
Thanks,
we
Gavin.
almost missed that.
We will put that at the beginning of the show next time. Woo! Where it's supposed to be.
Are we?
Because I hate it at this part of the show.
Okay.
We got space and we got ocean.
I hate the ocean.
Yeah, the ocean
I like,
hates you.
I like surface ocean.
I'm way more terrified of the ocean than space.
True.
You guys believe in aliens?
Yes, I do.
All right. Cool. With that being said, be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. YouTube at One Eyed Fits. That's where we post the YouTube version of this podcast.
And the old pod.
Be sure to subscribe there because there's a lot of content coming soon. We promise.
Like the old-fashioned.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Can we get a release date?
Sure.
You just made that up right now. That's not a thing.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at OEF White Noise, at OEF Studios, and at the Old Fashioned Pod. Coming soon.
Oh, yeah. When's that coming out?
Coming soon.
Which is?
I literally just told you. Soon.
What's the date, though?
It's soon.
Date range?
As early as tomorrow and as late as December 31st, 2023.
2020. What?
That's the date range for you, Gavin. Since you wanted to ask.
It's pretty long.
Yeah? You know what else is pretty long? This episode.
Oh, exquisite.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you leave a comment, we will be sure to read it. There was no comment left last week, so you guys suck.
Here's an easy way to learn a comment. You get a shout out next week if you can say how many fucking times the exquisite button was pressed.
It's pretty good.
Let's get a counter for that. Or how many times?
I wanted to hire someone to do
White
that.
Noise
I just don't want to
Trivia.
go through it.
How many times has exquisite been said?
When did we start it? Like episode 12?
Yeah, really early.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
All right.
And
That was
I think-
Gavin's
I think
felony story.
This one episode was like 5
Felony.
times.
And, we did abuse that button the first few times we got it.
When did we stop abusing that button?
God, I love that.
The only
button.
times we haven't used it is when Jacob isn't here.
Dirty little button.
Oh, Paul used it quite a bit, too.
Good for him. I taught him well.
Shifu taught you well.
Still have much to learn.
All right, song of the week. Gavin, what's the song of the week this week?
All right, so going back to Shazam, Black Adam.
Yeah, see?
My bad, Black Adam. One song that immediately caught my attention that I had to quickly write on my phone because I'm like, oh my god, I forgot this song existed. Baby Come Back by Player, 1977.
Like the baby come back, you can blame it all on me.
Yes.
Wow.
Like when they played that song, I was like,
literally sang that song today.
I was like, ugh.
You sing random songs all the time, though.
Yeah,
Good
but
song.
it's weird that it was still that one.
That's true.
It was a good song, and when I heard it, it was like I was like, oh, this movie's great.
Wow, that is very mid 2000s though.
It didn't keep up. But at first,
It did play in the first 10 minutes.
There it is. Yep.
All right, cool. Be sure to check out the song of the week. Be sure to watch The Notebook, and we will review it here next week. Gavin and I will watch it together multiple times because we will not stop paying attention halfway through multiple times, and
I'll
we
be
have to go
crying
back
too
and watch
much.
it.
Yeah, I won't be able to see it through my tears.
That's why you won't be able to see it.
For the record, I will not be watching this movie with Ethan.
But I will be watching it with him.
Whatever that means.
All right. We appreciate you for joining us. We will see you next time. And as of right now, we have to go.
Find a polar bear.
Yeah.
Thank you.